Hello, posterity. I normally do the daily challenges, and it's just one per day. I haven't done any battles yet, but it strikes me that there are many daily targets that I have not done on video. It makes me curious to see if I have the stomach, the fortitude to go backwards in time, which they're all available, right? I've done a bunch of these, but they go back. They go back for how long do they go back? July 2024. Further. There's so many. Let's start at the beginning. Let's see if we can do one or two today. Is that it? That's the end. That's the extent. All right, so here's the first one. And you'll see I've got scores on these. So I don't know if I expect to do any better, but I'm going to try to, well, we'll just see. So there's my solution. Let's just nuke it. Let's start like it was fresh. Let's do the blank template. All right. So yeah, this is a unique shape, right? It's a unique shape. Let's see about it. Let's see about it. So we got 3 circles inside a circle. So let's start with a circle. Let's start with a circle. Yeah. Let's put a color on this background. We'll do aspect ratio 1. And radial border radius of 50%. And there's our circle. We got this pink in the background. And we need to get the size right. 200 looks too big. 170, 175. Let's set our margins so that this goes over 7, 8, 9, 100. A little lower, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so maybe a little too small. 180, and then over another 10. There we go. So that's our circle. It's our first part. So what do we got in the background there? We've got radial. We got looks like radial gradients to me. In theory, we could do this as a div and then do 3 identical, absolutely placed circle paragraph tags inside of it. We could do a clip path. Let's do a radial gradient inside this element. So I think what I'll do is I'll do a var of what's this? What is this guy? So we'll call it data. No, what are we doing? Dash G, and we'll do radial gradient. And I think, well, I'm going to do the circle at, no, I'll just do circle. And then we'll place them using, let's go 20 pixels. No, well, we actually know. We know it's going to be, it's going to be 90, don't we? It's a 90 pixel radius. Does that sound right? Yeah, I think that's a 90 pixel radius. So okay. So then if we put this in the background, dash G, we should get it. Maybe not. All right, so let's go back to our first principles, and let's copy this in and put this in the background and see if we get something. Radial, so it's, I misspelled it. That's hilarious, and now I can see exactly what I did wrong there. Radial. This is the validation step. Dash G. Cool. And then if we say position it. Minus, there it is. Minus 10, auto, no repeat. Can you see that happening? And then minus 40 pixels, auto repeat. So you can kind of see that occurring, right? So we need to go downward. There you go. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 65. No, 65, 70, 90. Oh no, so that's too far over. No, that's not far over enough. 95, and then we're too far down. So we need to do, where are we at? So we got to go 60, 55, 55. Okay, so that's the first one. Not too bad. I definitely, when I was first doing these, I was agonizing over this kind of thing, and now I think that I've certainly got a rhythm for this. This is probably what, plus 95? Yeah. So, you know, there you go. And then the third one is up top, up tippy top, var G, var dash G. And he is 50% minus, well, probably similar number, right? Minus 55 pixels, that's my guess. And then auto, no repeat. Okay, not far enough up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 105, 110. Is that it? All right. Well, that's my experimental one. All right, so I got a match, but not. All right, let's. What happens if we minify this guy? If we minify and unit replace, do we get anything better? We get a little bit of a win with some of his white space. Submit. Hey, that is a new high score. We'll take it. Take another one. Oh shucks, let's do another one. That was fun, and got a better score. So daily targets. Oh, and I need to navigate back again. Oh, navigate. Back to the beginning. And these are available because I'm a plus subscriber to CSS Battle, because I enjoy it. Obviously, I'm not a what do they say? Not a paid sponsor. Okay, so let's clobber that. So that is a pretty good score, and this is the one for what, June 29th, 2023. So a solid year and a half ago. All right, so let's start with, what do we do here? Let's do, and this is probably, I didn't look, I'm trying not to look and think about the solution that I did before. I guess I could consciously, decide to not do what I did before, but that's not exciting, is it? I don't know if that's exciting. All right, let's take a look. So I think that my approach here, which is probably what my approach was before, is to create this element and then do a border radius on it, right? So we're gonna, let's narrow his margins with the margins here, and then we're gonna do like a border radius of like 50 pixels or something. border radius with a colon. All right, 6, 8, 9, 10, 110, 3, 4, 5, yeah, sure, 6, 7, 8, sure, and then 115, 120. Okay, and then adjust that border radius. So we're trying to get the adhere to that shape. Ooh, a little bit of a pin line there. 76, 78. We have the wrong. I'm gonna leave that there and then just add one here. Oh, that looks close. Okay, and then it seems likely to me. So this is a radial gradient with 100% height and then a width of 33% or something like that, something along those lines. But if I do a radial gradient to start, 20 pixels, and let's do pink. Background radial gradient, pink. Oh, and you actually can see it. So yes, you can see that. 0, and it's got to be a circle because we see that radial gradient is behaving according to the size of the container. When you say circle, you say, okay, I want that circle, and it should be a little bigger and a little smaller. There you go. So the width, so this guy is centered. If I just do what, 0, 50%, and then what, over, what if I do 25%, 30, 40, 50, hey, does that do it? That kind of does it. All right, so then I'm going to put this in the background. Remove the indicator pink. And now we need the line, which in this case is a background of a linear gradient. And my typical thing would be to do what, the beige, umber, brown, dark orange. So I would do 3 colors. In this case, I'm going to do the 90-degree repeating linear gradient. 90 degrees. And then and then I'm going to add a no repeat. And we're going to say this starts at 0, 0. I'm not sure which of those numbers are going to be necessary for us. And then do 200 pixels. And that's going to get us, so let's see, what, 210, 215. All right, so then it's about 80% 0. Can we get that number correct? 70, 80, 90. 85%, 84, 85, 86, 86. And then if we add a repeat, then I think we've got it. Is that right? Let's submit. I suspect we're not going to get a better score than what I got, which was tuned, but we do have match. So let's minify and unit replace and see if we get a better, much of a win. If not, I will just be satisfied with that. And we might actually we might have some numbers we can remove. Can we remove one of these zeros? Yes, we can. All right, and then we submit. And is that a better score? Hey, it is. We'll take it. Shall we go for 3? Let's go for 3. We'll go daily targets. And I guess I should have So here's one thing that's great about the web. You can hack URLs. And is that month 6? I hope it is. June 23. So here we'll do the third one. Oh, I remember this one. Oh, yeah, this one was a little painful. Maybe this is more than I wanted to do today. Be that as it may. Let's check it out. I think what I did before was 3 elements, and then, but I think I knew less then. So let's see what we can do here. All right, what do I want to do here? I think the 3-element approach ended up being harder. So I feel like I want to do this one, and maybe this is actually worse. All in the body tag. Is that a good idea? Probably not. But let's see what we can do. It might be fun. So the first thing I want to do is let's get let's start with a radial gradient. So background, radial gradient. And we're gonna do the top parts of the black. Top parts of the black. So what I really want to do is just this, and see if I can get that going. So I want a radial gradient that's just the top part of this. So to do that, I'm going to say he's going to be like over 30 pixels, 0, and the width is going to be like 100 pixels, 100 pixels. And let's put a no repeat just so we know what we're doing. And so it starts at transparent and goes to this not quite black. So it's 1E, 1E, 1E. And it's going to be at 40 pixels, 50 pixels, something like that. And we probably have to say circle. And we need a size on it, 30 pixels, 0. Okay, so that's the idea. So let's get that into position. So we need to go over 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it needs to be a little taller and a little less wide. So I think it's so taller, 110, okay, and then a little less wide, what, 90, 91, 92, that's correct. And then we need to move that circle around. So that circle, and it needs to be a little bigger, right? 35. And then the at, so what, 30, 38, 37. Oh, is this gonna be like a 37.5? Nah, 36. And then lower. 6, 7, 8, 9, 100. 105, 110. Okay, 36. 35. 34 over 35, 36, 37, 38. That's not bad. All right, so we've got. Are we not? Quite what we want. So I'm going to put this color in the background so that I can see the contrast a little better. Okay, so are we too far over? 9, 8, 7. That's the vertical. I don't think I want to mess with that. I think I want to mess with this. 37, 6, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7. This might be a tricky approach. This was tricky. I remember doing this one. It was tricky, and it's tricky doing it this way too. What are you gonna do? All right, 35, 36, D8. Oh. Oh boy. It's possible this is more than I want to do today. All right. I do. Let's. Do not fear. So is it possible this is like 75 wide or something? Ah, oh boy, that looks right. All right, and then what if we repeat X? Yeah, so that's awful close. So, all right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the flip side of this, which is the circle at blah 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 blah, and then so we need to move this down, and we need to do the upside down version of this. And we'll handle the extra ones here. Oh, no, actually we don't need to, do we? Because we can handle that with colors. All right, so I'm thinking ahead. Even though I don't need to. I should focus on where I am, as Yoda would say. All right, okay. I think what I want to do is, if this is 110 tall, then I need to set this lower. So that's 190. Okay. And then I want to set this vertically when it's 0. We'll start at 0. There we go. And if we raise this up a little, can we get it? 8.9, 8.8, 8.7, 0.5. Hilarity. Almost. All right, and then I guess we're gonna try now. We're gonna see again. This maybe was a bad idea. Linear gradient, and we're gonna say it's 90 degrees, and then that the black, gray, or the black, and then this I don't know what to call that color, butterscotch, let's call it, and then black again, and then this kind of salmon pink, and then the black again, and then the midnight blue, and then the black again. And we're gonna have to put in commas, comma, comma. All right. So then it's about the numbers. 20%, 0, 15. Can we do it with percentages? 16, 17, 18, 17. Boy, I don't like that. 18 is wrong. 17 is wrong. Let's just do it in pixels. 100 pixels is wrong. 80, 70, 60, 70. Let's look at that diff. Oh, it's pretty good. So 70, 80. I'm going to add another 0 here. 100 pixels over. 10, 20, 30, 40. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 70 and 146. I'm going to try not to think about those numbers, even though it's hard not to. Okay, 150, 160, 24 over, D8, 59, 60, 61, 62. And that looks dead on. 0, 170 pixels, 80, 90, 20, 200, 210, 20, 30, 40, too far, 38, dead on, 0, 250 pixels, 251, 2, 3, 4, okay, another 0, 260 pixels, 70, 80, 90, 90, 300. Okay. And we have those lozenges. So that's 2 radial gradients and 1 linear gradient to get all of that. Oh, and look at that. We've got a little bit of nubs here on the bottom. So we need to make the height of this second gradient a little taller. There you go. Now, the alignment of these radial gradients is a bummer. We're going to submit. Obviously, we don't have the little white parts yet, hilariously. Do we want to do elements for those? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I definitely feel inclined to. When I don't even have the edges of these right yet, though, that feels wrong. Okay. Let's get the edges of the top parts of these pills. I guess we're called pills. Let's get these right first. Let's see if we can do it. So, we're locked into a pathway. 8. 9. Those are nicely symmetrical, is the thing. 8, 8, 9, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14. Could they be 40? This kind of iteration gets really tricky because it's harder, certainly hard for me to imagine the bounds of these things. It's kind of nice to be able to have a block that you can put in place and say, okay, this is actually the radius of this thing. Like estimating. Human beings we're just not quite as good at the radial gradient, right? Or the understanding circles. We can understand blocks. Like we can understand what the areas of that and the radius and how those numbers are in relation. And without practice, well, we just do less well with circles. Okay. That's me talking and avoiding doing this. All right. Okay. Still not quite right, huh? So how do we make it right? So that's too wide. 35, 36, 7. All right, so I'm making it smaller than it needs to be with the goal of sort of seeing whether they're symmetrical in the way that I want them to be, and then as I grow it, it's going to be in good position. So is that more centered? And then if I make it bigger, it's better. And then if I go 3, perfect. Oh, that looks good. That looks good to me. All right, so does that help me do the other one? Maybe. Maybe. Circle at, so we're going to call that one 38 as well. And then That's at 0. We'll keep it at 0, and then we'll change the position of the vertical position of this one. Oh, because then we got 0.5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8. Oof, so tricky. So we're at 38 and 113. Oh, because we didn't change that one. And then we're going to change the vert on this one, 7. All right, that's dead on. We'll take it. All right, so a lot of work for that. A lot of work for that. It felt maybe too much work, but let's keep at it. Radial gradient next. We're going to say, so the easiest one is the middle one, and I want to do the middle one because it's easy, but that's not the one to do. Radial gradient, we're going to say circle at 50%, 100%, and then transparent, and what, 10 pixels, comma. Okay, so there's our little circle, and it's got to be bigger. So I'm making this first one here, right? This is the one I want to make, and so I need to make it first. That might be the right width, 20 pixels, something like that. But let's put it in place. 40% over. So let's do numbers there. Okay, that's the idea. Minus, okay. So let's do a little less over. 95 over. And a little less. So this 100% is the problem. So 300 pixels would be 100%. So we want to do it. We want to make it go up. Too far up. And is there even? Oh, that's an interesting shape. It might not be a perfect circle. It might be. We might need to use elements for this guy. Okay, so let's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Boy, that's close. Oh boy, that's close. That is close. That's irritatingly close, but it is not on. Right? It's like it's got a little inward radius. It's got a little inward radius on that, huh? I think what that means is that to get this right, we're going to use some elements. Didn't want to. Be that as it may, we're going to make 3 elements. And to do that, we're going to say background is white, position is fixed, left 20 pixels, 100, left 100, top 200, height 30, width 30. Okay, so let's get him aligned with that box. We're just going to make that box correct. Not super excited about this technique. What are you going to do? Nothing is perfect. All right. Left 80, 85, 86, 87. 7, 6. Okay. Is 59 better? No. 160 is better than that. Is 161 better than that? No, it's not. 60, 59. I think that's correct. And our width, make it 40. 41. Is our left correct? That looks right. 88, and then a width of 40 feels like more of a number that they would do, and it also looks right. 28, 29, 30, 31, 30, 30.5. 30.5 looks right. Okay. Fine. I think that makes me inclined, because I know I'm going to need elements that I know I'm going to need a circular one anyway. So let's make it 40 and then just put it in place from the top a little bit better. So we're going to have to subtract 4. 150, 151. Because I think that what we need to do on that one is a border radius on the bottom because of that slightly weird shape. So that top value, 48, 49.5. Yeah, I think that's right. Border radius 0, 0, 1, 2 pixels, 2 pixels. I think that did something. Oh, 5, 6, 7. Boy, that looks right. Yeah, that looks right. I don't like it. Did I say I liked it? Nope, I don't like it. We're going to make that a variable just to spite this puzzle. R radius, so 0, 0, 7 pixels. Pixels, and R dash dash R. So many of the ones that I've done so far have been pretty quick. It's kind of interesting to look at this from this perspective and think, oh wow, for the third one they made a pretty complicated one. Like, this is a lot of work. Maybe there's a much simpler way to do this. Sure. But I don't think so. Like, no. This is a complicated shape with complicated things. We haven't even gotten to the half moon, such as it is. All right. Background, radio gradient. And he's a circle. And FFF. And then transparent and background. And if he's, I think he's like 20 pixels, yeah. So, and then that circle is going to be at 50%, 10 pixels, something like that, or minus 10 pixels. No, 2, 3, something along those lines. Oh, and we got the same problem, don't we? 50%, 100%. No, 50%, 100%. And then we still need to position him, don't we? I think. So what'll that be? 50%, 10 pixels. So 80 pixels, 30 pixels, 40. And then I'm going to do another linear gradient, something like transparent, 50%, and then white, 50, 60, 70, something like that. And then I think that's dead on. Oh, and somehow the tops of these are now out of alignment. Oh boy, how did I do that? I don't know how I did that, but it sucks. Oh, because these paragraph elements are stretching out the size of the page. No, that's not true, because they're position fixed. I don't know why, but shit happens, they say. Okay, if I cut that, yeah, that fixes itself. So those, that is definitely, there's definitely a factor there. So top width, what if I do overflow, hidden, just to be paranoid? No, I'm not sure. That might not be a real. The little bit of a groove that we're seeing there is just a bummer. All right, so we'll call this B, and we'll call this one C. Okay, so for B, our background is a boring FFF, and our dash R is 50%, and our left is like 200 pixels, and our top is like 100, or 110, 20, or 115, or 114, and we're too far over, 1.8. Sure. So that's the easy one. But we did it in order. I know that was going to be easy, but okay. And then the final number C, the crescent moon, a mild crescent moon. Also has those characteristics of the B. Let's do that for now. So that's, and then there's 280, 270, and then let's move him up. So he's got less of a top value, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then over 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. 0.5? Sure, why not? Of course it would be 0.5. So just a reminder of what we got here. Oh, well, you can't see it now. Red. So that's what these are what our elements are doing. All right, next. So C is a radial gradient. Is a circle that starts at white, and I believe it's very similar to our first one, 20 pixel radius, yeah, 20 pixel radius, going to transparent, and that circle has an at value of like 10 pixels minus 10 pixels. Oh boy, put it on the wrong one. Oops. go. Circle at all right. Or actually, we don't want. This is what we actually want is an interior of that color and an exterior of transparent rather, and then an exterior of white to get the crescent. So 2, 3, here we go. And we just gotta just gotta move that around. Nothing about this is just. And anyway, we talk about minimizing language, and this is a point that many people have made. Tim Bray wrote a piece a long time ago about when we use language like that, we're implying that these things are easy, and none of these things are easy. This is weird, tricky business. That's what this is. It's code. Human beings are not, we're not writing code. That's not how things work. So I think this might be like a 19 or something. Boy, that's close. I'm going to submit this. It's probably not 100%, and that makes me sad because that was a lot of work. 99.9%. Not good enough, really. And that's a lot of code, right? Right, we've got 3 elements each with very specific things going on, different kinds of gradients on each. This one in particular, tricky, multiple linear gradients in a whatever. For whatever reason, these elements make the background not work the same way, even though these are position fixed and in theory should not be altering the overall heights of things. So that's pretty frustrating. It makes me think I need to revisit the body here and change the ats and positioning of them, which I guess I'm obliged to do. 3, 4, 3.5. Yeah, sure. There's the 0.5s again. I don't know. I mean, that looks better. Why do I have to do it? I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. 5. 9.5. Oh, so that's that. Okay, so that looks good to me, and that's actually not the gradient I thought I was looking at, which is a bummer. Oh, there's 0.5. All right. Okay, so 3.5 and then 0. Yeah, so that looks good. Let's resubmit because it feels like we just addressed the issue, and we're nowhere at 99. We are again at the same position. All right, and let's organize our code a little bit better here. So the first paragraph element is this one, and then we make modifications to the others. While we're thinking, let's put vars on some of these guys. We'll do so rather than define the R there, actually let's do that and then default it to 50%, and then we don't have to do this. Oh yeah, we do. I was wrong. I was thinking about that wrong. Super wrong. Alas. R 50%, and then C is R is 50%, and then we're going to do var of L or 88, and that way we can do dash dash L, and we can do dash dash L here, and then our top value we do var dash 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 T, or the ridiculous 149.5, dash dash t. Not really a win because dash dash t has the same number of characters as top. Be that as it may. And then we can do background of this ridiculous thing. Dash dash g comma, and then this whole thing. And then we can do dash dash g here and here. All right, so I think for the second one, we're going to adjust our top value, and that looks better. And then for the third one, we need to adjust these values. Again, we are awful close. So that's not better. I'm just futzing with numbers. 15, so 15 is ridiculous. 14 less so. 12, 11, 10, 8. Aha. And then let's go 20. There it is. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm hoping this is 100%. At some point I need to give and say, that's enough of this. So I think what's missing is this bottom part of this element. That's the only thing I can really see that's different. So that's this gradient here. Maybe the border radius is the problem. And that looks better too. Get to 100%. Let's find out. Nope. So this is part of one of the lessons of programming is, you know, kids ask me, so how, I want to make games. How do I make games? And a lot of programming is just throwing yourself at code and being willing to take punishment, like, oh, it's not doing what I want because the compiler is weird, or oh no, all my node modules are out of sync and the thing won't run anymore. And then the solution is like delete everything and reinstall node and reinstall the packages, and like it's just terrible that that's what you have to do. What are you gonna do? Like that's programming. That's what programming is made of. Now there are folks who say that, you know, large language model tools were going to fix this. No, they're not. If you've been around programming enough, you just have a sense like, no, we were told that Java was going to solve every program error that C and C++ programs were responsible for. Like, oh, Java is going to take care of all those issues. It didn't. It didn't happen. Anyway, that's me avoiding going at this problem and by pontificating. So here we go. All right, what do we got next? So I don't see it. Like I'm not seeing what I've got wrong. And I'm going to resubmit. So I refresh the whole page, and I'm going to resubmit and see if that's any better. And it's still 99.9%, which is quite painful. And if I increase the size of things just get out of alignment, right? Like, that's not better. Like, this is not better. And does this indicate that this is what it's seeing? No, 99%. That's not 99%. 99%. So I don't know. That looks pretty good to me. So let's go backward and reconsider some of these things. So we got that the 113.5 one thing that sometimes folks do, I believe, is do a blur, a filter blur, and that tricks the rendering engine in some manner, so you can see that blur, right? So this is not something we've done because we're going to do solid things, right? So look at that blur. That's kind of fun. That's interesting. But the issue is that we've got this all on the body, and I don't think that we can get the blur to occur on anything except for these elements. But maybe that's good. Blur. So filter. And blur and filter blur is great. I mean, I love it. Filter. Oh, because we got semicolon and a colon. You know. Let's see if that's any better. And it's not. It's far worse. All right. So I think that well, I've shown a way to do it. Let's go to one of the solutions that actually was 100% match, which is back in July. Yeah, so we'll load that code. Actually, well, let's load the earliest code that was 100% match, which was a year ago. 99.3, 99. Oh no, so we want to show only 100% matches. Load code. So there's 100% match in theory, and that doesn't look any different to me. But we've got divs. I was using divs back then. We've got a border radius of 77, so that argues for the 0.5, right? Because I don't know what that argues for. I feel like I'm trying to make lessons out of this, and there's no lessons to be learned really. Just keep going at it. And in production, we're matching that, the look of that. It's really the CSS Battle analyzer that we're having trouble with, right? Visually, I think we got it. But we're not getting that 100%, and that's irritating to me. So that's the, and I was using grid, right? Which is kind of interesting. Gradient, 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 very similar. So let's go to the most recent. And it's 3 elements. So if I remove one, there it is, right? So in each one is just slightly distinct, and it does have some variabilization in there. So that's another way to go. So I will stop there. Thanks for watching. If you watch this, kind of a long video. 3 solutions. The first 3 CSS battles, you got to hear me pontificate and be frustrated and show you old code that I didn't write live. Regardless, here we are in the interregnum between the Christmas time and the New Year time, and I'm waiting on the surf to be writable, and so I'm going to go out a little later. And it's fun to do code. It actually is fun, as much as I feel frustrated about the lack of 100% match on a fresh go. It got to show you, this is what that third CSS battle looked like, right? So I don't know. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.